Hello, beautiful homemakers. We're continuing Chapter 11, Secret number 8 of Secrets of Fascinating Womanhood. Kathy raised her hand. Yes, Kathy? Do you have any rules about makeup? Yes, Kathy. We should not overdo it. Makeup should enhance our fresh, natural look, which is so appealing to a man. Ideally, a man should not even notice that we are wearing any makeup. Especially avoid excess blue around the eyes and unnatural shades of lipstick. This sort of falsity deadens a man's ability to feel tenderness and love toward a woman. A man can still be attracted at a lower level, however, by the message he believes a woman is conveying by her excess makeup. Perfume and excess jewelry also convey an image of falsity. They seriously detract from the fresh naturalness that arouses a man's love. Some men hate perfume on a woman, especially when it's overdone. My husband is one of those men. He says that I smell beautiful without perfume, so only a hint if you must wear it. Besides, cosmetics and jewelry can never compete with a warm smile and a feminine, melodious voice. More often, they detract from them. Would perfume and jewelry enhance a father's love for his daughter? I think we all know the answer to that. Now, the second part of secret number 8 is the powerful effect that our dependency has on a man. Being dependent on our husband can have an overpowering effect on him. It arouses his deepest love and protection. Few women realize how powerful an effect their dependence has on a man. Angela, you have a question? Yes. What exactly do you mean by dependency? Dependency is when we appear to a man to want his manly care and protection. Of course, this doesn't apply to our feminine role as homemakers and mothers. Men expect us to be, and need us to be, capable in these areas. But in all non-feminine areas of life, the more trusting in him we appear to be, the more lovable we become in his eyes. This is another one of those powerful, fascinating womanhood principles that can make all the difference in the world to our marriage. All the difference in the world as to whether our husband truly loves us. Let me state it this way. The more your husband feels that you want his protection and his masculine abilities, the more lovable and appealing you become to him. When you depend on a man, his masculine feeling of strength and power is delightful to him, even overwhelming at times. He longs to gather you up in his arms and protect you forever. We women often feel like this toward little children when they're upset, or hurt, or lost. It's a powerful emotional feeling. It creates and builds deep love. Young girls, with their natural air of helplessness and masculine things, arouse these powerful emotions in their fathers. And so it is also with our husband. When he feels that we trust him and depend on him, it arouses within him powerful emotions and deep love. But even these powerful emotions can be blocked by resentment. So, we must be sure to live the first 4 secrets of fascinating womanhood. Because of this principle, we are not imposing on a man when we ask him to change a wheel on our car or remove a spider. In fact, it makes him feel more manly. If he's still resentful towards you, or very busy, he might grumble a bit, but he'll feel a glow of masculine satisfaction and pride after he's helped you. And most important, his love for you will increase. And we shouldn't hide any fears from him that we have. Fear of the dark, or of spiders, or strange noises, or even heavy traffic. He might tease us a little when we tell him of these fears, but it will make him feel strong and masculine, especially when we cling to him fearfully. Can you understand this important FW principle now? Deep love in a man develops when we ask a man to do masculine things for us. That's why we must stop doing men's work if at all possible, especially when men are about. That includes heavy lifting and anything else that makes us feel less feminine. A woman who does not rely on men will never win a man's love. Have you ever noticed how most spinsters and feminists have an air of capability and self-reliance about them? No wonder they fail to win a man's heart. Men might respect the minds of such women, but they cannot love and cherish them. Yet the gentle, dependent woman attracts men like bees to a flower. Years ago, I told my husband how much I disliked putting gas into the car, and so he's always done that, and now my son has taken over. But it just occurred to me after hearing this why I dislike it so much. It's because it's not feminine. Beth, you had your hand up. Yes, but what if you are a capable woman? I'm just not the dependent, incapable type. We don't have to be incapable, Beth. Just appear so to men, and only in masculine tasks. It comes naturally to most of us. Little girls are experts. It wasn't hard for us to get Daddy to pump up our bike tires or fix our punctures, was it? Let's be honest here. There is a degree of role-playing in male-female relationships, just as there is in good manners. Men know full well that in emergencies, most women can do masculine things reasonably well, but they still prefer us to act as if we're helpless at masculine tasks. Things like working a spanner or backing a car. I just looked up what a spanner is in New Zealand, and it means a wrench. Men role-play too, you know. They pretend to be helpless at feminine things like changing a baby or sewing on a button. They would rather not do these things because their makeup is different. But they can do them all right if they have to, just as we can do masculine things if we have to. It's just like good manners. Not essential, but life is easier and more pleasant. So always let your husbands and your sons feel that their masculine help and protection is needed and appreciated. Let them feel that you cannot get along without them. Men like to feel this way. Most of us women like to feel this way too, once we've become used to it again. I don't ever want to change a wheel. I even get my husband to fill up my car with petrol. I don't like working that heavy filler-up thing at a petrol station. You know, husbands who have self-reliant wives sometimes even go as far as to frighten them by driving too fast or taking them out in sailboats just to enjoy the feeling of protectiveness and masculinity that their wife's fear arouses in them. Yes, Beth? If men are so brave, why are so many of them scared off by intelligent women? Well, Beth, I don't think it's so much a woman's intelligence that puts them off. It's more the masculine air of challenge that many intelligent women project. A woman will never make a man feel masculine by appearing to be more capable than he is in masculine matters, or by winning an argument against him. Also, many men have painful memories of their sensitive boyhood pride being crushed by woman school teachers. Is that why so many school teachers are spinsters? Asked Cherry with a cheeky grin. The teacher smiled. Intelligence is a priceless asset to a woman when she understands fascinating womanhood. An intelligent, educated woman can be highly fascinating to a man as long as she does not belittle his masculinity. All we need to remember is that men like to excel women in all masculine matters. You can safely excel your man in music or English or biology, but don't let him feel that you excel him at math or engineering. Well, that's our lesson for tonight. Femininity and dependency, two delightful qualities in a woman in the eyes of most men. It's the secret feminists don't want you to know. Too delightful for some men. Often a shy man will think himself unworthy of such a delightful creature. Beauty contest winners often report this fact. However, that's more of a problem our unmarried daughters will have than ourselves. For us who have already a husband, let's remember what we were like as young girls, how excited we could become, our sense of wonder, our cuteness, our pretty dresses and hairstyles, our childlike innocence, our delightful femininity. Men are highly attracted to childlike charm in women of any age, just as we women are attracted to boyish enthusiasm in grown men. Reawaken your childhood femininity if necessary. Try it out and see. You'll delight your husband and make him feel more masculine. And the more masculine you make him feel, the more he will love and cherish you. And I want to quickly remind you that God created us to be creative, helpful nurturers, and that is our essential nature. It doesn't matter if you're a tough lawyer. God created us deep down to take pleasure in doing all the things we did when we were 5, over and over again. First, you did it with yourself and hopefully with your mother. Second, you do it again with your children. Third, with your grandchildren. But even if you don't have children yet, what you did when you were 5 years old can be self-care today. Perhaps you had imaginary tea parties. So go out to a tea parlor. You played dress up. Dress up every day. Look your best. That's what your husband wants. And remember, when you dress up, you act differently. You'll act more feminine if you're wearing a dress. Color. I know coloring books kind of came back in vogue for adults, but sometimes when I'm reading an old book, I will color in with my colored pencils some of the illustrations, or just working with color, or artwork. Playing with Play-Doh is something you did when you were 5, and boy does Play-Doh smell good. If you don't want to play with Play-Doh, you make cookies or a pie, or you bake biscuits. Playing house. If you dislike homemaking, you have forgotten how to play house, and you need to recover that joy. So find a way by watching YouTube videos or putting on an apron and baking cookies, playing board games with your children, racing to beat the timer to clean up the house, trying a new recipe, getting a beautifully photographed book of food that you want to make, throwing a dinner party, having a barbecue. Recover your joy. Recover your joy in homemaking. When you were 5, they made you grow a plant on a windowsill. So even if you don't have a green thumb, I'll bet you can find a little pot and grow some geraniums or herbs or a rose bush. When you were 5, you had to create something out of popsicle sticks. Now, I did that with my son when he was 5, but now you can be creative with anything. Choose a craft and do it. When we were 5, we would find a patch of sunlight and read in it, sometimes on the kitchen floor, sometimes on the front room floor, sometimes out in the backyard. Find your cozy nook with a patch of dappled sunlight and go read. When you were 5, you carried around a doll. Now, if you have young children, of course that need is being met. But if not, volunteer in your church's nursery. Some hospitals have programs where they need grandmas too. Now watch for his smile. A man's smile is his compliment to you. Your husband may be too shy to compliment you, so watch instead for his smile. A man's smile is his way of complimenting a woman. The more your husband smiles at you, the more fascinating you are becoming to him. Angela felt a warm reassurance inside. The last 3 times she had seen Ted, he had smiled at her. Now we have a lot of challenging feminine assignments for this week. The first one can be difficult, but is most important. Men generally don't like to say hurtful things about their wives, but be persistent and give him plenty of time to think before answering. It can pay off richly. Assignment number 5, the dressmaking one, is a long-term thing, and I don't expect it to be completed this week, but try and obtain the pattern book this week and have your husband select a dress for you to make. Secret number 8, assignment 1. Say to your husband in your own words, "Darling, I want to become more feminine for you. Please tell me the truth. What do you find the most unfeminine thing about me?" When he has told you, phrase the solution positively, then add it to your goal list. Repeat assignment 1 as a New Year's resolution each year. Assignment 2. For 2 whole days this week, think before speaking and phrase every sentence that you say to your husband in a positive, loving way. And say it with a melodious voice and a smile. Observe the difference in his reaction. Assignment 3. Sing in the hearing of your husband at least once this week. Assignment 4. Ask your husband to honestly analyze your entire wardrobe, including footwear, nightwear, and swimwear, and rate everything feminine or unfeminine. Then discard or plan to discard anything he finds unfeminine. Assignment 5. Have your husband choose what he considers to be an ultra-feminine dress from a pattern book and then make the dress yourself. Get assistance from another woman if necessary. Add some additional feminine touches to the dress that your husband likes to make it unique to you personally. Assignment 6. Have your husband take back at least one masculine task that you have been doing. You might say, "I don't feel very feminine when I do this." Any questions? "Yes," said Helena. "What if my husband rates some of my wardrobe neutral?" Take that as a masculine rating, Helena, but don't discard them. Remember, most men are reluctant to criticize. But I also recommend, class, when you have been successful in having your husbands rate your wardrobe, ask them to go through all the things they have rated feminine again and re-rate them for feminine appeal in their eyes. You might ask them to rate them as follows. A. He loves to see me wearing it. B. Okay. C. He doesn't like to see me wearing it. Be prepared for some surprises. Any other questions? "I don't know about this singing assignment," said Elsie. "Give it a try, Elsie. Then watch for your husband's smile of approval. Remember, everybody, your husband's smile is his way of complimenting you." "I'm not very good at sewing," said Kathy. "I would love to make myself a dress, but I never learned how to dressmake." "Invite a friend to help you, Kathy. You'll enjoy it." "I'll help you," said Bev. "I make most of my own clothes." "Would you, Bev? I'll take you up on that." Beth spoke. "Yes, making a dress is something I've always wanted to do, too, and would make a welcome change from all my studying. Most of my clothes aren't fitting me very well now. I could make myself a couple of maternity frocks over the Christmas break." The teacher smiled. "I made this dress I'm wearing tonight with the help of a friend. My husband chose it from a pattern book. He also chose the material from samples I brought home to him. He loves me wearing it. Our visitors tonight are 2 delightfully feminine women, Mary and Sally. Mary, can we hear from you first?" Mary, a true experience. Let me tell you how discarding a brown dress changed my marriage. I have a particular brown dress which I find much pleasure in wearing. It's a house dress, and oh, so comfortable. After I had worn it for some time, my husband let me know of his great dislike for it. I continued wearing it anyway, thinking, oh well, it's only at home. Then I noticed my husband began to come home with what seemed a negative attitude. Then the thought occurred to me I had been wearing that awful brown dress a lot lately, due to much spring cleaning. My home sparkled, but I did not look younger than springtime. Well, I got busy and bought a pattern for a very feminine house dress, with soft gathers at the scooped neckline and peasant sleeves. I made several of them so that I would have no excuses. That night when he came home, the look of approval on his face was something to see. He smiled and asked if this meant that I would throw that old brown bag away. I didn't give him a definite answer. I'm going to cut that brown dress in half, wrap it up, and give it to him on Mother's Day. Yes, even a dress can change a marriage. Sally, a true experience. My husband is charming, handsome, and lovable. When we met, I felt Sir Galahad had come to fetch me away. But not long after we were married, he started to become a little aloof, calculating, and guarded. After a few years of his cooled manner, I wondered if our marriage had a future. I puzzled over the problem for a year, picking up all the advice I could find. Then I came across Fascinating Womanhood. My first step was to turn his dull side away and concentrate on his bright side. That step warmed him slightly. My clothes seemed a weak point. Few things in my wardrobe were feminine, light, airy, childlike, or charming. So I decided to wear only those few and to give the rest away. I have an outfit which can be worn with either skirt or pants. If I wear the skirt, he compliments me, but with the pants, he says nothing. Then I wore one of my few feminine dresses, went to him and said softly, "May I stop doing the heavy work around here in order to become more of a woman for you?" He seemed flattered, approved of it, and has ever since taken care of it, hiring men where desirable. What a relief to say goodbye to it! I continued to follow the recipe for femininity: gentleness, tenderness, delicacy. After a few weeks, my husband remarked, "How feminine you've become, especially lately." Our marriage is much improved. He now confides in me easily. He is more generous with his heart and with his money. The mood is sunny. A million thanks, Fascinating Womanhood. And a million thanks to both Sally and Mary. It is just so true that opposites attract. To attract and delight men, we must be as unlike them as possible. See you all next week. Good night, everybody. As Cherry drove Angela home, they enthusiastically discussed what they had learned the past few weeks in their class. Angela felt a growing friendship bond with Cherry. Being a rather reserved woman herself, she enjoyed Cherry's lively, outgoing company. She sensed that Cherry also enjoyed her company. They also lived near to one another, and Angela felt that they were destined to become close friends. And I hope that you, too, can find a close friend to do Fascinating Womanhood with, because it does help. Now, if you need help about what to say to your husband to relinquish masculine tasks around the house, be sure to listen to FW32, because I tell you exactly what to say and what to do and what not to do. Also, if you haven't yet listened to When Queens Ride By, you need to do that. This story makes an excellent point on why we need to give up the masculine tasks around the house. Stop doing a man's work. Bye!